Now that we've been in long enough, we realize you don't have to have a W-2 to finance a rental property or to flip a house. You don't have to. People think that you have to, but you don't have to.
10 years go by in the IT space. It sounds like a very corporate type structure. Are you climbing the ladder over the course of that 10 years? What does that kind of 9 to 5 look like for you?
Good question. It was a family business.
Nice.
Transparency. It was Amy's family's business. Now, I started working there before she and I were married, but I started at the bottom. I went out and installed our software in pharmacies, like your mom and pop pharmacies. Not your CVS's, your Walgreens, but your mom and pop pharmacies. And then I did work my way up, got into development, got into IT. My big moment there was we came up with a mobile app so people could request refills online on iOS.
Nice.
Before Walgreens had theirs. They released
No
theirs
way.
right after ours, but we had it for the small mom and pop pharmacies before Walgreens. That was huge.
Wow.
And it was my program that I developed. So that was cool. But yeah, when I left, I was the vice president of IT. They had sold. It was a good time for me to move on. Our kids had a lot of health issues and needed some time flexibility. It was Amy or I. Well, they really wanted Amy to stay. I was burnt out at that point, and so I got out, and we'd been dabbling in real estate, and I got into it full time.
What did that look like, dabbling in real estate while you're both working?
We had one rental. By that time, we had it for 3 or 4 years, and we had sold it, and we had started our first flip. And I did most of the work on that first flip. I knew that scaling and like over time, that was not what was sustainable, but I don't like for people to be able to BS me. I want to know what things are like. So I did most of the work myself. I am handy and I enjoyed it to a point. But I did most of that myself. We made decent money on it and just kind of went from there, and then started buying rentals, started accumulating those. Couldn't get wholesalers to send me deals because they all had their few guys that they always send other deals to. And I was going to the RIAs and the meetups and saying, guys, I have cash, like cash, not BS cash. No contingency. I have cash in the bank. I want to buy properties. I couldn't get them to sell me them. So I started marketing myself. And
so your main strategy was using kind of your guys's, call it the W-2 normal job money, and then recycling that into investing into real estate.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. And with her having a very good W-2 for my first several years full time, it was a lot easier to get financing, I thought. Now that I've been in long enough, I know there's so many other ways to get financing. I don't need to get a traditional mortgage to do that. But like our first rental, $100,000 house, 1,000-month rent, 20% down on a commercial note, 15 years, and we cash flowed zero. I didn't know about buying at a discount. I didn't know about the BRRRR method or anything along those lines. Later on, we had more tools at our disposal. We started getting into private money. We started getting into sometimes hard money when we needed to. Learned about community banks. Community banks are awesome. There's some parts of the country that don't really have good community bank support, and that blows my mind. And I mean, it's a win-win for everybody when stuff like that happens. Wins for the seller of the house, wins for the bank because they're getting notes. They're helping their own community. We're getting people into good housing. Her W-2 was instrumental in that at the beginning. Now that we've been in long enough, we realize you don't have to have a W-2 to finance a rental property or to flip a house. You don't have to. People think that you have to, but you don't have to.